Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. We're here today to preview the game that Everton have at home against Brighton, and I'm joined with Dan today. How are you doing, Dan?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I don't know. I know a lot of you would have just come from that result. I don't know if it was a good result or a bad result.
I think it makes us happy, even if it might not be the best result going forward. I'm sure everyone's quite pleased right now. So
yeah, I'm happy for Brentford to beat them. To be fair, I know people will probably say Brentford, we might be in competition with them to stay up, but
yeah, well, they must be flying up the league now. Where are they now? They're 10th.
they've had a good run of wins.
I think they'll be away from us. I mean, you can see the table is separated by about 3 points between like 13th and 20th are 5 points difference. So 7 places for 5 points. Those teams at the moment are still in trouble as we look.
Yeah, I agree. It's just crazy. This league is at the minute. Anybody can beat anybody. I've watched the so-called good teams be poor. In the comments here, we'll try and get you involved. Get in Brentford. A couple of highs.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Dave and Kevin and Robbie. Good to see you all. Oh, it's frozen.
Is that me frozen, Basil?
I think it's me. Well, I couldn't. I couldn't say anything. So, if you carried on talking, maybe they'll let us know in the comments. Was it me?
It dropped. I think of us both out. The stream just did something really, really funny.
I don't know what's going on this evening with the internet? There's something going on. But anyway, let's try and discuss the game at least until we're cut off. So it's Brighton up for us next. It's a tough game, you would say. Ryan says it's me. You froze up, Dan.
Yeah, so I've just read something on connection. It's never happened before, but
never mind.
Nothing ever goes to plan, does it? There you go.
Yeah, let's get into the Brentford. Not Brentford. They've just played Brighton. We're at home again. I'd start talking about Lampard's press conference, but there really wasn't a lot to say. I mean, it was a 2-minute thing that he did after the City game. He did speak about trying to keep the same sort of basics from the City game in terms of the intensity, the pressing, just the togetherness and actually having that motivation to come out with a result. I mean, I guess you would agree completely with that. And that's what we need to see more consistently.
Yeah, 100%. I think that game was just bonus points for me. It was like our motivation for this game. And it was a cracking performance, a point that we didn't expect. But I think this was the game that we was all set on, David. I think this is the one where you would say that we have a good chance for the 3 points, but not if we don't turn up, because after seeing what has happened tonight, if teams want it more, they get it. And Brighton are a team, Basil, that they'll give you a game. They turn up every week, don't they? They do fight. And they're quite a frigging hard, rough team that we're going to come up against. Similar to Bournemouth, that sort of game. I know they pass a lot more, but it will be a hard game.
It's going to be a tough game, isn't it? And the other thing that was mentioned in the presser was basically availability and the fact that Onana was going to be missing. How much of a big miss is that going to be, not having Onana, or would you say it's not going to matter?
Nah, I think he's just starting to play well. You've got to remember he's a new player, and he was just starting to find himself. That was a cracking game last game, and he's a lot of energy in the middle of the field into David. And the thing is, if you take that energy out, you do miss him. So I think he'll be one that's massively missed. But us Everton fans, most of us knew when he got that yellow card that he was going to miss a game. We always clock up how many yellow cards they're on. And I knew soon it was going to be a game where he got a yellow card, though, wasn't it? It was one of those sort of games. Cards was going everywhere, and fair enough.
I wasn't aware of it myself. I thought it would had reset, but obviously not. Apparently, it resets after this game, I think. So it's a shame he couldn't wait a bit longer. But well, I mean, there is a slight issue there that Gordon's already missed a game for 5 bookings. We have got to be careful not to get too many of these accumulated yellow cards, because we seem to get yellow cards every single game, same players.
On what you just said, though, he said in the press conference that Gordon had the bug, just in case, because I know someone asked on the channel last time. Gordon was missing through a bug, and because there was a bug going around, and Mina was missing through the bug. And Lampard said in the press, when I listened to it, like he said, short, but he did say that they might be back. So we still don't know, unless you've heard something later than me, David. Like the latest I've heard was the press thing and him saying they might be back.
It just sounds like a lot of people have got this very flu-y cold at the moment. It's been going around, and from the people who've had it that I know, say it's not very nice, and they're in bed for a few days. So it's whether Mina and Gordon are going to be fit enough, even if they've recovered from that. It can take the energy out of you. So it gave me the vibes that they weren't going to play from the start, even if they were recovered.
This is where it's going to be interesting now. Like, we're going to say what we think of formation and team should be. And obviously you pull Onana out, means you can't have the same team as last time. You can't stick with what we played last time. Who we're going to put in Onana's position is going to be a good question, isn't it? That we're going to answer. So I think like, this is a hard game, though. This is not an easy game. And do you know, when you think in formations, Basil, you try and think what would be good against Brighton, don't you? And I know you're a Mr. Tactical. You love your tactical sides of the game and formations. What do you think, let's hit it, would be the best formation for Brighton?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because they tend to have a lot of possession. They tend to have the ball and keep it well. And we've arguably had a very good preparation for that style of opponent in terms of Man City. I mean, Brighton have tended to play this more of a 4-2-3-1 rather than a 4-3-3. It's more of an inverted with a number 10, whereas City play with that sort of 2 number 8s or 10s floating. But I think the same principles apply about stopping them playing through the line. So that means getting bodies in the right areas of the pitch, which is probably the center of the pitch, and going toe-to-toe. But fundamentally, we have to be aggressive, and we have to be on our game from the start, because this is a tough game. I mean, they're very good. They scored 2 against Arsenal, who are the champions elect at the moment, and they should have. They nearly had a third. It was ruled out. So they did look a real threat against Arsenal, but then they did concede 4 goals. So are they susceptible to damage? Should we have a look at the teams that have?
Oh, you got the stuff. I knew you. You can rely on you. I need to have it on you. Well, we've just seen the big, player come back from the World Cup, and Brighton get all the parade for him coming back with his World Cup medal.
He is, apparently he's not played. Well, he's not played as he's. I don't know whether he's fit for this one, but I think their injuries are the same as they were when they played Arsenal. Nothing new there. So we were likely to see quite a similar.
Do you think he'll play, Basil? I think he'll start.
I think he might be on the bench, but
I think he'll start.
I suppose if he starts, it's going to give them confidence and impetus, isn't it?
Yeah,
the manager will know that, even if he can only play 70 minutes. It's interesting. Billy Gilmore played the other day as one of the holding midfielders, so he's getting some minutes now. I mean, it's just an all-round solid team, isn't it? Duncan, Colwill at the back, Lamperty's a good full-back on the attack, and then they've got Matoma and Trossard, Lallana. So there's like skillful, creative players in there. But what I've done with, and we'll get people's opinions in the comments, is just put together a couple of options. But firstly, went with, if I can get the right one, is what we could do as if we kept 5 at the back, which is what we played well. And my thinking behind this is that Godfrey played quite well the other day, and it would be a shame to drop him. And his pace would allow us to play slightly higher up the pitch and start, not be so deep having to be conscious of runs in behind because he's got the pace to get back. So if I keep him in there, and then my next thought process is who plays in midfield, and I thought, well, Onana can't play, so we can't play the three in midfield like we did. Who would I play? And I thought, I can't justify Davies or Decore playing over McNeil, so I put McNeil in there. But I mean, part of that is because I thought Iwobi's done really well in this role as well, in the holding role. He's done really well, and it takes the impetus off him from having to be up the pitch creating, and he can sit deeper and get on the ball and pick passes. I don't know how you feel about this.
Well, I'm going to be the shitbag and say McNeil. I thought we played better without him last game. I know it's harsh. I know he's still new, but do you know when you play this formation, Basil? You've got to have the counter-attack players, and McNeil hasn't got the speed for me. I can see him crossing the ball to Calvert-Lewin, but in this formation, I think you've got to look for your wing-backs to do that. Like Mikalenko and Patterson are the people that I can see doing that. And I'd like to see someone else like McNeil. He's not going to be in the middle, is he? He's not going to be He's just going to be a winger and a wing in the fullback's way for me in that formation.
Yeah, I mean, this is the trouble. You're expecting a lot from McNeil in this position, aren't you? That's the trouble. If he plays in a 4-4-2, there's less expectation. He's just there for him to put crosses in like he did at Burnley.
The thing is, Basil, the Iwobi, Ghana, Gay and Onana really did work last game, and I thought that's what made this formation work because there was in sync, and Iwobi helped Patterson out a lot. If you look at his heat map, he was often helping the right wing back, all three of those centre midfielders was up and down. And I think if McNeil would you lose something by swapping him with Onana? Probably so. Like you say, though, the big problem is it's Davis or Decore, isn't it? And you're not keen to put them in.
I'll show you the option with them in. But, I mean, Frank might look at this and think, well, we're at home. We're against Brighton, so we're not against one of the sort of top six. So we might revert back to Everton's typical formation and tactics from most of the season. It's only really away at Spurs and City that we've reverted to playing this 5-3-2, and we have played the 5 in a different way in the first few games. So I've put...
So we've got Kevin Kraft saying Decore will come in. We've got a little bit of a debate here. And then we've got the other comment that I just dropped, Dave Weston, all regulars, saying that Tom Davis is going to come in. So straight away, that's what I say. It's a debate.
Well, I've got then this option, but then Godfrey misses out, doesn't he? Davey, so this keeps Gay in that role that he's been playing recently on the left. He's done really well in that role in the last game and in the game before.
I like him there.
Iwobi again, he stays on that right side covering Patterson. And then you've got Davies. You asked Davies to play the deep lying role, but he's just not going to do it in the same way Onana does it. That's my worry. It's like, is it worth him even being there? So then what do you do? I mean, if Gordon's fit, he plays for me instead of McNeil any day. And he plays on the right to allow Gray to play on the left, where he cut inside the other day and scored from. So we're just shoehorned.
I'm like Gordon for me. I think he will be fit now. Viruses that don't normally last that long, do they? I might be wrong. That's just what I think. But it like the formation that you put before with McNeil, Gray, and Calvert-Lewin up top. I think it'll be Gordon, Gray, and Calvert-Lewin up top as like counter-attack players. Do you know what I mean? With the speed, I think that's what it will be in my head.
Yeah, I think we're more likely to go with this for sort of formation. Where does Godfrey go though? Does he get dropped or does he play left back or how do you?
Oh no, I think we'll go with the wing. I think we'll go with the wing backs. I don't think we can change that now. Yeah, I think it'll be the first one that you did with the wing backs.
Yeah, but the more I look at the wing back situation, I start to think we'll get overloaded because I'm thinking that McNeil and Gray probably won't get into the right positions to stop them playing through the midfield there. I'm slightly worried about this team now that I think about it. So
I know what you're saying. It makes it more interesting when you put it up because obviously what you're saying is the good thing about this formation that you've got on now is that Iwobi, Gonagay, and Onana made it really compact in the middle, because we know Brighton are going to dominate possession in the middle, and they're a team that can, like, if you let them win the battle in midfield, they can actually win the game just through doing that. So I get what you're saying. Like Gray, McNeil, or Gordon won't come back and do the jobs that you need of your three centre midfielders. So that's basically what you're saying, isn't it? And it does cause a bit of confusion, but I just feel that I do like this wing back with Godfrey behind Patterson, because do you know when we've played other games where Patterson's been playing, he's needed help and he's been done a couple of times, and I think Godfrey behind him sweeping up. This is the formation for me, but like you say, the big problem is whether Gray and McNeil or Gordon are going to get back, Basil. That's the big problem.
Well, a few were saying stick with what we did the other day. I mean, it's a different game. I mean, I can show you what that would probably look like. I mean, I look at that and I think it's strong enough to get a result, but I don't know whether we'll score. Yeah. That's
it just scares you with Davies as the holding midfielder, because he's not. That's the thing. I know Onana's had a lot of stick, but you just your eyes looking at that now and looking at Davies in that position compared to Onana, it makes me really scared that Davies is there. And Onana, he's like I say, some people have slated him, but he is strong and he is fast, and I feel a lot more comfortable, David, with Onana in the number 6 position. I keep calling you David and Basil, but I'll just call you both. Don't know which one to call you.
Ryan has confused it up, so nobody probably really knows.
Call you both. I like both. Good nickname, good name. So there you go.
I'm just trying to visualize the other alternative then with.
So I keep reading the comments because we've got to share the comments and people are there, and I've got to get you involved. But last time I added a comment on the screen, it froze the whole thing and knocked me out. So that's the reason I'm not dropping them as much as I normally do. Right. I am reading them. But I clicked on one, it took me off last time. So I'm being precautious. But he said, keep the same players and add Decore. The question is, Basil, and to you, Kevin Kraft, and to people in the comments, why should we add Decore?
I've just moved Decore in there now. You look at that.
Yeah, but why should we have Decore in there? Because he hasn't played well.
No, but the worry here, you start imbalancing the whole team. So you move Gay back where he hasn't been playing. You move Iwobi over to the left where he hasn't been playing for weeks, just to accommodate Decore, who, in my opinion, came on against Wolves and looked like he wasn't even searching for the ball when he was only on for 5 minutes. He could have done better with the goal we conceded. And then the other day he was okay, but just doesn't seem to be the same Decore for some reason.
So no, I completely agree. Doesn't and the big thing is as well, we'll drop this because we try and update you with all the news that we hear, and me and Basil got quite a lot of information as we try and look it all up and keep you updated. There has been rumours that Decore might be leaving. And I've seen a video of someone tweeted, you might have seen it, a video, loads of people seen it. Decore sitting on the ball before the Man City game looking uninterested. A few people was moaning, saying he looks not arsed and that he could be going. So he might be leaving. If he is, I don't think he's going to be in the first team, is he? I don't know.
Can we afford to let him go?
It depends what you get for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, but look at the depth of squad we have right now. So the players we've got to choose from now, we've got Iwobi and Gay who are happy to play in midfield. And then we basically have a choice of Decore or Davies. Can we let him go then? Because Garner's injured, Onana's suspended, but somebody's always going to be injured.
Well, you got it. If you just put on the screen there, Kevin Kraft. I read that as well. Juventus, it says, are interested.
I know. What do they want him for?
He might be good for them. Gomez is doing well now. Different leagues, it's different speeds. Tempo. Yeah, different tempo and stuff like that. And he might be good for them because Decore was good at one point. I remember thinking back, Basil, like me saying, he's one of the best French box-to-box midfielders around when he was good for Carlo, because he was good. He was good at one patch. And
he was good.
He's
scored the
gone
goal.
down. Yeah, but he's gone down. Rafa, when Rafa pushed him high, he was pressing. He was.
In fact,
But
he was critical to some of our counter-attacks, so bringing the ball from the back line and pushing out and distributing it into Gray or Townsend to get a goal.
Even if you went back to that Palace game of us staying up, Decore, he was pressing and he was a massive part of that Crystal Palace turnover second half. He is good when he's chasing down, but I think when you get him in front of the defence, unsure what to do, where to pass the ball, his passing, he doesn't look like he knows what to do, does he, Decore? He seems to... He hasn't got the football brain, has he? I think he knows to run and close down and get the ball back like a pit bull, run around. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know what's happened. He's definitely... Sometimes, though, Basil, when you're not in the team, it's going to knock your confidence into it. I mean, if he's not getting picked, he's probably thinking to himself, like, I'm struggling. And then he struggles.
Well, that was going to be my next question is, do you believe that one of Davies or Decore will play? And if not, what does that do to their confidence watching somebody else get chosen just because to try and keep them both away from the 11 when they've been training hard and waiting for their opportunity?
Well, you know, if you don't get... If you're basically, with Onana out, if you're Davis and Decore and you don't come in after this, you know you're probably on your way out yourself because you're not going to get a better chance than this, are you, to actually start?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what Jeff's watching the video. Hi, Jeff. He says 4-4-2, Iwobi in the middle and just go for it.
I don't like 4-4-2. I really don't.
Very contentious, isn't it? This one, but nobody really agrees on a formation or a team for this game.
I really do. I think don't change the formation from the Man City game. I know it's different teams, and some teams you have got to change your formation against. But I watched the game against the Red Shark just a bit ago, and they played with the 3 centre backs and wing backs, and it absolutely destroyed them. And there was attacking loads. I think if you get it right, and you get it into your wing-backs, Patterson and Mikalenko, to push up, it can be a very... We've had this debate loads, haven't we, Basil? It can be one of the most... It looks like a defensive formation, but if you play it right, it's not. It's an attacking formation. And I think against Brighton, I think this formation with the wing-backs is going to be the best formation, I think, especially with Lamptey coming down the sides. It can be... Patterson could be buggered.
I do feel like we will play it. Having weighed it up, I feel like Lampard likes to go with what he knows. He likes to pick the same. He likes to go with the same winning team. It's not a win, but he likes to go with teams that pick up a result, and he likes to keep it continuous. So I think he will just swap Onana for one of Decore or Davies. That's my gut feeling.
I do feel if we had, like, someone put in the comments, I am reading all your comments, just can't put them because I'm freezing a little bit, but someone said how long's Garner out. I think it's the end of this, he's back at the end of this month, isn't he, or something like that.
Yeah, he should be here early February.
I think he was the perfect player for this game to come in that position, because the reason we've got a big problem, Basil, is because we played Garner Gay in the number 6, and it's not his position. It is not his position. He's not like... he sits in that 6 and he's not particularly fast anymore. He's not a big tackler anymore. And he's just not... It doesn't suit him. And then in the last 2 games, we've pushed him up because he played higher in the World Cup. And he's a lot better. I think it's the best we've seen him. He turns the ball over. He reads the game. He gets on the ball. He's looked more composed on the ball. So I think it's selfish to... get Garner Gay in that number 6 now, him have a bad game when it's not his position. But like we say, Davis in that position, he ain't that either, is he? Decore, I don't think is a number 6, is he? Garner would have been the one.
No, we could do with Gareth Barry.
I know, yeah.
sat in there mopping up. He was someone who could read. You've got to have someone in that position who is disciplined enough that they don't go wandering off. They keep that space of the pitch and they read things like a book. They read passages of play and they read how things are going so they can intercept, so they can tackle, so they can set the tempo. And I don't know if Decore and Davies are capable.
Well, anybody, I've seen a lot of, like, you know how negative it can be when we've been bad. Obviously, we've been okay last game, but that's just a start. We've got to do it consistently. But Onana's got a lot of stick, but just by Onana missing and me and you being so confused what to do, Basil, I think it shows his importance to the squad, doesn't it? Because he probably he probably is the only player that can play that number 6 and have everything about him that it takes to be good in that number 6. Now, I know Iwobi's played really good in that number 6 position before, and you could pull him back and he'd do the job in the number 6, and he'd be very good in it. But you want him going forward, don't you? You miss out on a lot of his creativity and stuff, putting him in that position.
I don't think we'll take the risk of playing him over Davies because I think he'll go a bit safer. You won't want to lose this game. But is there a team that you've seen so far that I've put up and you've thought, because when you see the team and you think, oh, not him, is there one where you've thought that, or you wouldn't mind any of the options?
No, to be fair, the way I would play it is, I don't know if you've got it there, that it would be with, I'm going to give you a team now. My team would be Mykolenko. I'm going with wing backs. Mykolenko, Connor Cody, Tarkowski, it works. Godfrey behind Patterson works amazing. Patterson on the right wing back. So I've got that. Then what I'd do is I'd go for Iwobi and Garner Gay in the centre. I know we're just going to miss out on Onana, but it's one game. Oh, well. Then I've either got Gray, Gordon and Calvert-Lewin, or if Gordon's not there, I'll get shit for this. I say his name wrong. I'll be Mopé, Calvert-Lewin, and Gray. I know that's a twist, but Mopé, Moonpie, whatever you want to call him, he used to play for Brighton, didn't he? He used to play for Brighton. He knows how to hurt Brighton. He knows that dunk and all that lot. And I think if you played him next to Calvert-Lewin, I know a lot of people don't like Mopé at the minute, but Mopé, whatever his name is. How do you pronounce his name?
Mopé, probably.
Mopé.
Mopes around.
Yeah, no, but I know he hasn't been good, but I just think, like you say, I'd either play. Yeah, that's my team. That's my team. And it leaves us a bit weak in the middle.
I wouldn't mind that, but the middle is so open, isn't it?
But the one thing I will say on this, Basil, is if you've got to say to your centre-backs, stay very close to Garner Gay and Iwobi, because then it doesn't leave your middle so exposed. If your centre-backs push high and sit close to Iwobi and they won't get dominated because they're kind of all close together and there's not much space. It's when the defence drop off and your midfield and there's a big gap. So if they all sit in together, because that formation, it should be a 4-5, well, 4-3-4. That's the way we should play it, shouldn't we? Because you think of Mykolenko and Patterson as wingers there, and if they play as wingers, they're going to be close to Iwobi and Gay. And then, like we say, Gray and Gordon. They need the thing is with Gray and Gordon. I want to see them get close to Calvert-Lewin and play more central, so the wing backs can actually push up. If you know what I mean, so they can push up.
Yeah, but you're asking a lot from Mykolenko and Patterson, aren't you? Who are not proven to be attacking fullbacks, especially Mykolenko.
I think you are, but I think they've got it in them. I do think Mykolenko's getting a bit better. He does get forward. There's a couple of times he's got in some good position. He did against Man City, and look how good Man City are. He could have got us 2-1 at the end when he bombed it forward, Mykolenko. But the only reason I'm happy with Mykolenko and Patterson to push up on this, Basil, is because I am really confident in Tarkowski, Cody and Godfrey if they're on it. They've been slouching against Bournemouth and the other games, but they was on it against Man City.
Do we need the three of them in there? Because
what's that?
Do we need the three of them in there? Because they're up against Trossard. One of the reasons I felt we played three the other day was because Haaland is their number one threat, and you need to cover the space, and you need to have men in space. Just don't let him in behind. Don't let him have any space. Trossard's not Haaland, is he? Do you need three men sitting back? Yeah, one of them has to then start to go into midfield and engage with players who are picking up the ball with acres of space.
It's a good question, because this is why managing isn't an easy job, isn't it? Because that formation, I'm absolutely in love with it because it works against Man City. But then when you come up against a different team, that might not play with loads of attackers. Like you say, you could be wasting a centre-back by playing 3. But I think if by pushing them high, Basil, by pushing your centre-backs high, they're going to be in the game. And hopefully, like I say, if the wing-backs go up, if that formation's played right, it's 3 in defence, it's attacking. It's not 5 in defence, it's 3 in defence. So it's not like you just said, do we need 5 defenders? I don't want to play it as a 5. I want to play it as a 3. I want to see Patterson and Mikalenko down those wings big time. And I want to see Gray and Gordon around Calvert-Lewin to make it a lot more attacking. If Gordon plays, if Mopé plays as well, then I want him around Calvert-Lewin. That's the way I want to play it.
But in principle, that sounds good. But
you could get buggered the other end. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm just visualizing it on my other window. I'm looking at Mikalenko sitting back and Patterson on an overload on the right. And I'm seeing it, but I don't. It's hard to. It becomes 4-2-3-1 then. When I'm visualizing it on the screen, Godfrey ends up at right back, and Patterson ends up as a right winger because Gordon cuts inside, and you've got Gray on the other side at the back post.
Yeah, I know. I get you. I'm with you. I know what you mean.
In principle, it sounds like it could work, but it's a difficult one, and I think we're probably just going to have to react to how the game's going. We have to start with something and react to it. But this is, we've 5 games now without a win, so the pressure's on, isn't it?
Yeah, I do think that we've got a good chance in this. But one thing, I watched a lot of videos, been tweeting a lot of videos, getting a lot of attention on the videos, but Cody was one of them. Going round before the game, Connor Cody going round to every player, come on, this is it. And I've got time for that all day because he's got to keep them pumped. This game is a game where they've got to be up for it as well. Because if you're not up for it and they're not at 110%, Brighton will do us. They've all got to be the same attitude, 110%. Like Cody got them up. Cody's got to get them up for this game. Because I tell you something, if we can, this is the fresh start. Man City, if you can get a point against Man City, then you can go and beat Brighton. That's 4 cracking points and your confidence is high. And then we can start trying to go on a bit of a run. I know we've got odd games after that, but you go into those games with confidence. And look at the way the Red Shite played today. If we've got some good results and we come up against the Red Shite massively confident, but they beat them today, so why can't we? You've got to put yourself in that sort of confidence to beat them, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, we play them in about a month, don't we? February time. But we've got these 3 big games now. We've got Brighton tomorrow. We've got Man United. Well, you could argue that's just a game in the middle. And Southampton. So we've got to manage the squad as well. So in some ways, Onana will be back on Friday. Mina and Gordon will be fully fit by Friday as well. So we'll be able to freshen things up as well.
What was it then? So the games that we've got, we're going to hit you with our scores in a minute. We said half an hour on this, but Basil got his tactical stuff out, and I could talk about it all day because it's quite interesting. But the games, they get harder, don't they? I know every game's hard, by the way. Trust me, Bournemouth was really hard. But like from what teams are, you've got. So what are the games? We've got Brighton.
Yeah, Man United in the FA Cup.
Yeah, that's a big game for me. I want to do well in that. I know a lot of people don't care about it, but I do.
And then Southampton at home.
Yeah, these are big. Brighton, Southampton.
And then it's West Ham, I think, who are also down there with us.
That's going to be like 2 teams that are looking in the mirror. Game, yeah, that's a big one as well because they're really, really struggling. And
then we have a really tough week and a half with Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what I thought in my head. When I said Liverpool, I know it's a month away, but it soon comes around when you've just said it because, like you say, you've got Brighton, Southampton, and then it slowly gets harder, doesn't it? And then
there's also a nasty few weeks where we play Brentford, which at the moment looks like a tough game. And then we go to Chelsea and Man United and Tottenham at home in the space of April. So some not very nice fixtures there. But apart from that, it's fairly even out. I mean, every game looks like a tough game at the moment. There's not one where I look at and think, oh, we're going to get something. Maybe Southampton's the only one. But you can look at them and you just think Brighton's tough. Leicester's way will be tough. Newcastle's tough, but there's just not a team where you think, oh, we should win. Maybe we should win at home to Leeds. We should win at home to Southampton. Should really win at home to Villa, but we tend not to. We'll have to see.
I've just been thinking in my head, like, we just need to not think about that and just take every game as it comes now. We did what we had to do in Man City, and now the only game that we should like be thinking about is 3 points against this game. And we need to go against Brighton, and we either get the draw, get the 3 points, give absolutely everything, because every game is the game that could keep us up. Don't get too cocky with that Man City result. Make that result worth something and add 3 points to it. Because if you go and lose, that result doesn't feel as good. But if we play well against Brighton and build on that now, Basil, then we get 3 points on this. And then that's job done. One job at a time. So we go against these. We take the 3 points against Brighton. We get the job done. Then we just see who we've got players back, going down the back. And then the next game that comes, we do the same thing, one game at a time. That's how you're going to stay up. That's what we've got to do. Because that's how I feel about it. You look far ahead like you just did there, and like I told you to. It makes
don't know where the points are going.
No, it makes you shit yourself a little bit. It did make me a little bit scared. But then when I think of each game, just the one game, don't think about stuff. Just
but you tend to look
at do something.
People tend to look at the groups of games, like 3 games. So they'll look up to Southampton now, from City to Southampton. They'll look at 3 games and thinking, how many points can we get from that? And then everyone predicts that we'll win a couple, or we'll draw one, we'll win one. And then you look back at our record for the last 3 games and you see we lost them all. And the ones before that, we draw 1, lose 2. And you think we're so optimistic, but it just doesn't.
That's where I feel like we've been going wrong, though, Basil. Like, even in some of Lampard's press interviews that have done my head in, some of them, the ones that have done my head in have been, we've got games, don't worry. We've got games ahead of us. It's not all on this game. I don't want that anymore. It is all on this game, because Lampard's job's still at stake. Everton fans are still frigging stressed, still angry, and we're still near the bottom of the table. So it's not we've got loads of games. You can't say to yourself, oh, we'll try and take 3 points from either Brighton or Southampton. That's not the way to think. You need to think Brighton is the game. We need to draw or get 3 points. You can't, every game matters. It could be the game that keeps us up. So we need to be on it every game now and just get the job done. Yeah,
we need to do a non-Everton thing and actually follow that draw, that really tough draw, away with 3 points. I mean, we threw away a point against Wolves in the last 60 seconds of the game. That took us 100 minutes to earn back against City. I mean, it is frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah,
so we have to follow it up, otherwise the mentality will just be lost.
We have
the confidence now.
We've got the best, and I'll stick by this, even though they got battered by Bournemouth. I think it's because they slacked, but I think we've got the best defence around. We really have. When stuff gets tough, the combination of Cody, Tarkowski, and looking at Cody as well, because I think he stepped it up. If they play at the best, Cody, Tarkowski, and Godfrey, I think we can handle anyone, but they just need to get back to the best. And I think we've seen that last game, didn't we? And they just need to maintain that now, because I honestly feel like, Basil, if our defence are at the best, we've got one of the best, and they should be able to handle anybody. And then all you need to do is in front of them, just start putting the ball in the back of the net. And I think everybody would have been watching that Damari Gray goal at least 2,000 times. I'm probably on about 3,000 times. It's one of the best goals I've ever seen. I'm still watching it now and can't believe the way it goes in. And I think a lot of our attacking players need to just start doing that now. Build a bit of confidence, put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, well, the Blues channel has said we played well against City because we played for a draw, and it causes us problems when we think we should beat teams. It's a mental thing, isn't it?
I think they're bang on. I think when we've got to take it to somebody, we think too much. And if we think too much, everything goes wrong, because our players haven't got that much of a brain to do that. But I think if they just sit back and just do your job, and then when you get the chance, counter-attack and just do it when you can, then I think it suits us better. That's why I like the formation.
Well, let's hope. Well, I mean, I think Brighton will try and take the game to us. I can't see them sitting back and letting us have the ball. They like to have the ball. I think that will suit us in a way. I think obviously the crowd, it can be tough for the players because we want what's best for the club, and we, when we see them passing the ball sideways and backwards around the back line when we've got possession, it does get us frustrated, and and they can, with the crowd there's more pressure, isn't there? The crowd can be very useful if you're on top, but if you're not, it can almost put you off, and you can play safer. And do you know what I mean?
I think it's very, as they say, and Lampard knows that he's said it before, so he needs to make sure they do it. I think it's how you come out. If they come out attacking, the crowd will be behind them. If they come out defending, the crowd will be like, "Oh, come on, we need to." If they come out all guns blazing, then the crowd will get the crowd up.
Brighton are going to have the game, aren't they? They're going to have the majority of the possession, we would think. So it was up to us to show that intensity, that we're willing to close them down.
Yeah,
get the ball, to get quick on the counter attack. That's going to impinge on whether it looks like the fans are with us, because if they see Everton passive and when they get the ball panicking and letting Brighton have all the ball and not making anything, we're going to get frustrated. So it's a mental thing as well. I saw a comment from.
I just want to say, because I always forget this, but everybody see you on. If you can, hit the like button, because the likes up could just kind of broadcast the channel a little bit more just by getting the likes. And if you haven't subscribed, can you subscribe? We've got quite a few people on now, a lot of regulars, doing quite well.
Yeah.
Keep you updated.
Quite a few watching as well, so subscribe if you haven't done.
Yeah, and hit the like button as well on the videos, because sometimes people forget to hit the like button. If you don't like it, don't hit it. But if you do like it, just hit it, because it does help a little bit.
Matty was saying the 4-3-3 doesn't work because our wingers aren't good enough at the moment. We need to play 2 up front, so 5-3-2 is perfect. It gives us 3 in the middle as well. I agree with that, and I do agree with that. The problem is Onana's not fit, and that's giving us the biggest conundrum. So, Matty, how do you deal with that? Who do you play in that 3? I'm intrigued to hear. Meanwhile, have you got a score prediction, Dan? Or
yeah, I didn't think of one, but I'll soon think of one now. Why you put me on the spot? So, why I'm thinking of the score, you can hit me with yours, because you've obviously already got one before me. It's pressure, isn't it, for saying the score? People in the comments now, drop your score. Think about it carefully. What do you think the score is going to be?
I'm going to go with same as Mabsy, 2-1 to Everton. I'm going to go positive, and I think we can get result. I think we might concede one. I don't know if we'll keep them out the whole game, but I think we can use that momentum and get across the line. It will be a narrow victory if we get it.
I'm going to go with, I've just thought about it on the spot. I was just thinking of the game. How's it going to go? I think we're going. Do you know they've got some big centre backs that are strong, but we've got players like Gray that can run at them. I'm going to go 3-0 to Everton. And I know you're thinking, what the hell? Why do you think 3-0? But I've got to try and. Yeah, we've got a 3-1 there anyway. 3-0.
Kevin,
3-0. He's with me. See, there you go. I thought it was stupid. We've got 3-1, so the Everton boys are happy at the minute, and girls. Jeff, we knew Jeff wouldn't be a big score, but he has gone a win, and that's good for Jeff. That is good for Jeff. Who's scoring 3 goals? Well, Calvert-Lewin's back, and I fancy him to get a goal soon. I really do. I'd love Calvert-Lewin to get a goal and start putting some in. So Calvert-Lewin can get a goal. I think Gray's going to score again. I really do think Gray is going to score again after that goal. And it'd be nice to see Onan, Garner Gay, or
he's back.
Yeah, we didn't mention that. Let me just say, we didn't mention that. But one thing I will say about Ellis Sims is Lampard didn't sound like he was going to play him. He made it sound like he's an option in the press interview. He didn't sound like he was going to play him.
What does that do to his confidence, though? Because he's been brought back from where he's playing fairly regularly at Sunderland to sit on the bench.
Well, at first, I know this is a bit of a shitbag thought, but at first I did think to myself, we brought him back to try and offer a championship team to get a striker. Do you know where like you're trying to get a striker and you say, we'll give you Sims and give you so much money? I thought that's why we brought him back, which is bad. But no, to be fair, I've said this last time on the channel. You need everything, don't you? We haven't got many options attacking, and when it's 60th minute and someone's shattered, Calvert-Lewin gets injured, or someone's shattered, and you ain't got many strikers, chuck him on and see what he can do. He's earned it. He's scoring goals. Not many players in our team at the minute are scoring goals, and he's scoring goals, so he might get his chance. We'll see. Good to have him back. Are you happy that he's back or not?
I'm not sure what he's doing back. Maybe it allows us Tom Cannon to go out on loan. Maybe we can go in for Diaz and offer them Cannon as a little sweetener to on loan.
It did sound like me that Lampard's brought him back. I don't know whether I'm just thinking different.
I think it underlines the financial difficulties we're in, that we have got to get.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say though, but that we've been linked, and we know what links mean. It's a lot of bull crap, but there's been a lot of strikers that have been come out today. 3-4 different strikers that it's been articles on. So, and they've all been 30 million, 20 million. There was the one at Middlesbrough. He scored today. Don't know if you know who he is. Some lad at Middlesbrough. He scored like 11, 12 goals in the Championship. We've been linked to that one at Middlesbrough. And then there's been a couple abroad as well that we've been linked to. So I don't know. I don't understand why
it's hard to know, but I think part of it was also that we need him in the door for the 1st of January rather than sort of in 3 weeks, which is probably when
that one's gone quiet. I think personally.
Yeah, well, I think other teams are in for him as well. As I say, I feel like we won't make a striker signing till the last week of the window, and I think that's why Sims has come in so he can play a couple of minutes in 3 or 4.
The manager said he's going nowhere. The one from Coventry. There's one with bright hair, bright like blonde hair. I don't know if you've seen the article on him today. I can't remember his name. He plays abroad for either a German team or Spanish team, and he's got like bright blonde hair. He could be a winger or a thingy, but there's been a lot of links today. So with the window, I think we've just got to focus on what we've got, and if anyone comes in,
Dembele at Lyon, I think
there has been a few, but I can't think who he is unless people put him in the comments. But there's been a few today.
We've had some good positive predictions, but we've also had a few negatives. A 2-1 to Brighton there. We've had a 3-1 to Brighton here. We've had somebody say that Casado and McAllister are back, so they're expecting us to lose 3 or 4 goals if we try and play football. I mean, Everton notoriously are not very good at playing football. Everton.
I've just
what type of football we.
I watched Romero play for Tottenham in defence, that has played for Argentina, that won the World Cup, and he was absolutely shite. The one that plays centre back, Romero, don't you? He's shocking, and he won the World Cup with Argentina, and he's rubbish. So you can't just think because some of them have won the World Cup, they're going to smash it against us. McAllister might come back, and we might just have a good game and make him shit. So we just got to get behind them again. But I can see why some people in the comments, Basil, are not. They've got negative scores because we haven't earned the right to say that we're going to beat Brighton yet, have we? I mean, I think we will because I'm Mr. Positive, but this is where we need to build the confidence of the fans now.
What is it that tells you that Everton are worthy of picking up 3 points against Brighton? Where's the confidence in that?
The reason I think some people will say, like, I think the reason that I think we can beat Brighton is because I feel like last game, they all looked hungry. They worked as a team and they all put a shift in. And I think if you do that against Brighton, you will have a good chance with some of our players at the best at winning the game if they do that. But a lot of the people would say, what makes you think they're going to all try again because they haven't consistently? So we'll see on that.
Yeah, I think we will wrap things up.
It's gone longer than what we thought. 50 minutes. Wrapping it up.
A lot watching, but everyone who's kind of been joining us the last 5-10 minutes, go back and wind it back if you're interested. We did quite a lot of discussion on the formation about 10 minutes in. So
speciality.
But enjoy the win Brentford's win against Liverpool tonight.
Yeah,
And
buzzing.
let's hope we can follow it up tomorrow with the Everton win.
I can't wait, I can't wait. I just want to get a win. I can't. Are you excited for it?
Yeah, it's going to be good. Goodison under the lights. Thanks for joining me, Dan. We'll see you later.
You're welcome, mate. Can't wait. Just to see the full, mate.